took me about 6 months, and I got a full-time job working on the 810, and the title of that job was considered an Air Reserve Technician. What you worked for the Air Force, but you was a civilian at the same time, and that worked out.
So you kind of like found the magic.
It was magic. You couldn't ask for nothing better.
Okay.
So that just set me up for life.
So during that time, you just, I'm gonna ride this out. I'm gonna just ride the Air Force out.
During that time, once I got out of Air Force, got the job working on the 810.
The 810s, you gonna ride that job out is what I'm saying.
Yeah, when I found out the money that was to be made for what I was doing, I had planned on retiring that. I knew that this was gonna be my home forever.
And I mean, growing up, we didn't want for nothing. Like, we lived good.
Y'all lived good. That's what and the kids you guys grew up with, that's what I'm saying, you just didn't understand. There was nothing y'all didn't want. Y'all had a basketball goal. Y'all had swimming pool. Y'all had weights, medicine ball. Kids didn't even know what a medicine ball was, but y'all had that. Mm-hmm. Y'all really had it good. Because I wanted you guys to have everything that I didn't have, plus a dad.
So what was your philosophy on raising us? Because you were a disciplinarian. You ain't take no junk. But I look back on it and I'm like, I'm glad you did it. Because I get it. You know, I understand, like, the principles and having morals and being a man. Like, everybody says being a man, but when I look at man, I look at you because you were like the man's man. Like, you gonna stand on your word. It's what it is. You have to do the right thing, have integrity and all that. And I get that from you. And you instilled it in us in a way. It was very, I would say you were strict, but it was respectable. And I mean, it was like, just do what you're told. If you do what you're told, you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for one thing, being a father was hard. The number one thing, you have to experience something before you can actually do it. By me never having a father, I didn't know how to be no father. Mm-hmm. See, I'm just watching people and picking up on stuff.
Before you finish, but for everybody out there, we gotta put in this that you're not Barry's biological father.
No, I'm not that's true.
And the one thing that I commend you on, I never knew. Like, there was never a time where I felt that there was, like, you treated him different, treated me different or anything. So when I did find out, and it was actually like a mistake, when I was in California, I saw like some papers Barry had, and that's when I found out. And then I look back, I'm like, damn, he treated us like, there was never like, that's my stepson. That's like, you treated, we both got the ass whoopings and we both got the love. We both got the respect. We both got all of that. And I like, that's a big thing that I took from you.
What happened with that was, when I met your mom, she had Bear, and they call it a package deal in them days. And I decided that, I found out she had a little son. I said, I'm not gonna let that bother me. So I decided to raise the little guy, and I told him everything I knew. And what had happened was, when your mama was getting child support for Barrett, for Barrett. And what happened was, when I moved y'all, so I was living in the barracks, I had to find a house or apartment. When I finally moved y'all there.
The Swan Lake apartments?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were getting in fights at school. Because the kids were asking you why you and your brother got different last names. This happened. We went to school a lot for y'all fighting, you and Barrett.
Really?
For people, white kids asking y'all why y'all got different
I didn't
names.
even, yeah, okay. I don't remember this, but.
So for me to remedy that situation, I said I can't have them fighting every time somebody asks them about their last name. So I asked your mom to call her ex, and I said, tell a dude that if he let me adopt Barry, I'll make your mama drop the child support on him. And to him, that was a good deal. So he was paying big money.
Mm-hmm.
So he decided he'll let me adopt him if your mama dropped child support. And it was big money. So I said to make us a whole family, I'll do that. And then he gave me the permission, and we went to the judge. It took a little while. Then I adopted Barry, gave him my last name.
So that goes back to my first point that the way you raised us, it was like, it wasn't different. It wasn't one track, raise this child like this, raise this child like this, like, and so you was just figuring it out.
Figuring the father thing out?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I had that straight. I had an idea from the guys that I grew up with, from their fathers. I read a lot, and then one guy did tell me that, T, you can't be the daddy and their friend at the same time. So my program was, I'm going to try to be your father, I'm going to try to be nice to y'all, give y'all as much things I could give you, or I was going to be hard. That wasn't nothing I tried to do, that was just me. But at the same time, I figured, well, if they dislike me, that when they grow older, and if it from what I done taught them, that they will see why I did what I did, and then they'll probably thank me. If they don't thank me, then when they get older, from all the things that they've been through, they'll see the reason I did all the things, and if that time they think it was well done, that y'all will come back and we could be friends at a later date. Mm-hmm. But my job at that time, to raise y'all, teach y'all discipline, show y'all as much as I can to keep y'all out of trouble, try to make y'all happy till you get 18 years old, and by then you make the decision of whether you want to try to be my friend or we be friends. But at that time, my thing was to get y'all straight.
So as a kid, I remember just be like, you gotta say good morning, good night, do your chores, and it was a time I didn't like you, but now I get it. Like I can say, like from what you said, like now I'm 42 now, you know. Now it made sense earlier in my life, but now I get what you did, and it's helped me as a man and as a father. So I want to say thank you, and it was all worth it. You know what I'm saying? That you know, took the steps that you did to do that. At the time, I didn't understand it, but I mean, it's not a lot of things the kids gonna understand that what you going through. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what. Yeah, I've been on the street. Wasn't no gangster, but I was rough. But I knew that the gangster life, y'all wasn't gonna make it thinking y'all were no gangsters, and you was gonna put your shirt in your pants. You were gonna speak well. You were gonna respect your adults. That was my thing. And like you said, if you did that, we was cool. But I wasn't taking nothing. I remember one time, the thing was kids were breaking emblems off cars in Bossier City. And your brother, I went through your brother's drawer, and he had a Cadillac emblem. And I said, where you get this from? He said, what you doing in my drawer? And I knocked him through the wall. I said, this ain't your drawer. This bed ain't your drawer. That pillow ain't it. It's for me. And I took his little lemon and I had trouble with him no more. There ain't nothing in here for you.
Yeah. So during, let's say elementary school for me, I'm at Meadowview. What I remember, and this is my account, I remember you and Mom used to argue a lot. And she drunk beer, you drunk Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
What was there something that we didn't know about?
Yes.
That through that time that caused those, is that something you can speak about or not?
I have no problem, it's up to you.
What was that era of like arguments?
Drinking was enough for your mama.
Okay.
Your mama, girlfriends were weed heads. And your mama wanted to smoke weed. I couldn't stop her from smoking weed, but she wasn't smoking weed in the house.
Gotcha.
And that was my pet peeve. You're not smoking weed in this house. You're not smoking weed in the yard. And that was it. And she wanted to smoke weed. And I was not allowing weed.
Okay. What as far as the alcohol from you and her, what I'm saying is, from that, I don't drink. And I've never smoked. Like my entire life, I've never smoked a cigarette, never smoked weed. I've probably been drunk maybe 3 times. And I don't even know if I was drunk, because I don't really know. What was that for you, the drinking?
Okay, as far as the drinking was my enjoyment, my way of life. And what happened to me was later on in life, the drinking, it got out of control with me.
But to your defense, during that time, our quality of life never changed.
Oh no, because I had a way how to do it. I had a way. I used to use the word. That was a word I used to use, but I was functional. I could drink, but I still went to work every day and I did my job. See, my drinking never was on the job or never before the job or stuff like that. Never went to work, got to have a little hit or a drink. My life wasn't that way.
Was it
Go ahead.
Was it stress or was it enjoyment or was it enjoyment and stress?
No, it wasn't. It was a reliever then. It was the job.
Because you got a good job, but you're still in the military and you're still dealing with
the job
bull.
was stressful.
Okay.
The job was stressful. The racism, the constant argument with me and your mom, it just made the drinking increase more and more.
And
go ahead.
And to preface this, we're living in Bossier City, Louisiana. We're living in a Republican, David Duke, Ku Klux Klan mindset area. So you dealing with that, your job. So you had stresses around that we wasn't aware of and privy to. But you made us, well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm sure Barry thinks the same thing, but you made us aware of how to identify racism and how to navigate. I remember one time, I think you were working. I played a football game and Mr. Don took me. I think it was me, Barry, Earl, and Mr. Don, because I think we played whatever. And we shook hands and this white kid hit me, like punched me in the shoulder. So I grabbed his shirt and I started fighting him, whatever. And I remember I was so scared. And then when I told you the story, you was like, all right, good job. Because I think he called me the N-word and hit me or something like that. But you was like, on the principle of like, you did the right thing, you defended yourself. So that's when I was like, oh, okay. So violence or physical, if there's a purpose and there's a reason for it, then that's when I started like understanding, not accepting, but understanding you on how your mindset, and you instilled that, I wouldn't say military mindset, but just a man's mindset of how to think things out and decipher and filter through bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing that
you 42 now, but they tell you when a dog about to attack,
hold up a little bit. Yeah.
When a dog about to attack, it don't run. I mean, as a man could sense your weakness just like an animal. And I learned that. And I always told myself, I'm never going to fear a man. And what happened was, by me being in that racial environment of street bullshit, not bragging, those people feared me.
Yeah.
I mean, feared me.
Yeah. I don't know if you even noticed.
It was the way you got, I thought, the way you carry yourself. That's when you could get away from the physical violence if you carry yourself a certain way.
Yeah.
People used to fight the demand. Oh, if you be real, a man could tell you a real stand-up guy, and then you're going to get your respect like that. You can't take respect.
Yeah.
Respect got to be earned.
I don't know if you remember this. Well, there was a coach at Cope.
He hit Barry.
Yeah.
He called the police on me. He ran in the locker room.
And I don't know if I was there, or I don't know if I heard the story after. But like you said, you think through things and remember stuff. So if Barry's at Cope,
It's about 7th grade.
so I'm in elementary school, but I remembered that. And when I came back in 8th grade, he did some funny stuff to me, disrespectful stuff. And I remember telling him, I'm gonna call my daddy. Cause it clicked in my head that what happened years ago. And I went in the locker room, and when I tell you that man came in the locker room and he was about to cry, but because he knew the result of what would happen, and that's when I was like, oh, my daddy's something out here. You know, like I knew prior, and I've never seen you put your hands on nobody, but it's just the way that you carried yourself that you wasn't to be played with.
Call the police for that.
Yeah, so that's another example of like understanding the way that you carry yourself and demanding respect prior to a problem.
And then that also go with respecting the other individual. All that is hand in hand.
And I don't think I've ever seen you like just disrespect somebody.
I try my best not to. That's why I said, if I went off, you really did something to me to set me off. Mm-hmm. I know about getting in trouble. It's easy to get in trouble when it's hard to get out. So if I could go another route to try to solve a problem with someone, I'll do that first.
Okay. Let's say around 13, 14, for me. I'm living with Tiger, so I'm not with you, I'm not with Mom. And I'm asking this because I'm kind of going through the same thing with my kids, and I don't know if my situation was your situation, if I could do it. What was your mindset when I'm not with you? Like, how did you get through that part, or what were you thinking? Like, was it like I don't even know the answer.
Once I tried the legal aspect of it, as far as I went to court, I went to judges, and
That's when I came back.
yes,
Okay.
and I found out that you were upset with me. That was a battle I couldn't fight. Trying to go to work, fight for you, and it just came to a point where there was nothing I could do. You didn't want to come live with me. Your mama didn't want to come live with me. I wouldn't have won in the court of law because the judge would have gave your mama full custody. That situation was totally out of my hands. There was nothing I could do about it, and all it did was made you think. I drank more because it was the depressant. It messed my plan up. And I know you don't like nobody talking about your mom, but women know how to get you.
Yeah.
And your mom knew she messed my money up with you.
Mm-hmm.
See, like I said, you didn't know how guys wanted me to move to a certain school district so you play on their team. I had all kind of connections. Like you didn't like Bossier City because, like I said, if that situation wouldn't have happened, you'd have loved Bossier City. You was the most sought after athlete in Bossier City. You just didn't know it. And then by your mama taking you not being under my wing to keep you straight, it bloomed to a bad situation. You were set in Bossier City. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You were set.
So
I had connection with the Hamiltons. I had connection with coaches at high school, guys who were willing to me to move and rent a house so I could be in a certain district so you could come. It was set, and your mama knew that, and that was another way to hurt me.
So how did you? I don't know when. What was your recovery from that?
Recovery?
Meaning, like, was there resentment towards me? Was there resentment towards? Like, when did you feel mentally that, like, okay, me and you was in a good space?
We weren't, or we were?
When we were, like, cause I was mad at you at then, but I didn't understand. But what I'm saying is, like, when did you say, all right, it happened, let's move on? Like, was there a time?
Oh, that was once I actually realized that you were gonna go live wherever your mom or your uncle wanted you to live. I knew it was out of my hand. I just gave up, and you wouldn't believe it, because as the old saying, I put that in the hand of the Lord. There was no more I could do. Mm-hmm. And I said, one day, if he grew up the way I think he gonna grow up, he's gonna realize that I did the best I can, and it wasn't all my fault. And there was no more I could do. It was out of my hand.
So, this is another thing, like,
Yeah.
for you to come where you come from, and then you go to apartment, you go to the first house, and then we bought the second house, like, that was to us, it was regular, but that was a big thing. Like, you bought the house, you know what I'm saying? Because you rented the first one, and then I remember saying we're buying the other house. Like, that's a big thing. Like, we were pretty.
I was a thinker.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna stress that. Well, you might be thinking right there by that door. My mind way across the street. I don't already. I done watched that house begging for them people to move. I just knew.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going.
Uh-huh.
Only one person can stop you from going somewhere is yourself. And that for a while, for almost 20 years, that alcohol had stopped me from doing the things I wanted to do. And this guy Clarence, you done met him, named Hicks. He passed away 2 years ago. Like, with drinking. Like, he told me, There wasn't nothing wrong with that. But he told me there's a right way to do things. And when it came to alcohol, I just did it the wrong way. That's all. I did it the wrong way. I don't regret it. I feel at the end of the day, I met Thelma. She knew my situation. She prayed for me. I prayed for myself. I read the Bible. The Lord took that disease out of my body, and I'm through with that.
When was it the worst, you think?
The worst?
Yeah.
The worst was
And why?
I was at when I transferred back to the base in New Orleans.
Okay.
I had filed a discrimination suit
Okay.
that they was messing with my rank. I filed a discrimination suit. That didn't work. I knew so much stuff. I filed a complaint with the Office of Special Counsel. They ain't knew nothing about that. This was a big, this almost to the president.
Yeah.
And I got some feedback, but I still didn't get what I wanted. I wanted to be supervisor. And then what had happened was they was on me good, the management. So Katrina had hit. And the governor at that time, Blanco or something, she was closing bases. And right after Katrina hit, then they decided that they were going to close the base. They wasn't going to close the base, but they were going to take the aircraft that I worked on in Belle Chase, Louisiana, out of that area. Mm-hmm. But they was going to take the aircraft, but they was going to let the people who had the time to retire, and the people who didn't have the time, they was going to transfer them to another location.
Gotcha.
So when it was time to go to personnel and do your thing, either you're going to get your retirement or you're going to find out where your new location going to be, they blackballed me and said that I wasn't approved to go nowhere. In other words, when this unit closed, I was out of job. Mm-hmm. And that's what my words. I was out of job for 18 months. Didn't work, ever work. Mm-hmm. And I prayed to the Lord, and what I did was I had some money in my savings account. And I took that out and I bought a house. It was in a bad neighborhood in New Orleans. And I bought this house and I rented out Section 8. And the monies from that helped me to live and pay the rent. And that went on for 18 months. And at the end of that 18, my tenants had moved out on me because I was hard on them. And I had a big old 2-story brick house in New Orleans. I was still living in an apartment. And my tenants moved out, and it was hard for me to pay the note and pay the rent where I was. And then I was working, and I just had to let the house go because I couldn't afford it no more. But what had happened, God bless me, that all those little lawsuits I was trying to do, one of them finally came through, and a judge had called me to come to the courthouse up in New Orleans. And she asked me, do I want to go back to Barksdale? And I said no. And found me a job at the Naval Air Station and finished I needed 8 more years to retire. I stayed there 8 more years and retired. So it worked out.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. You glad you did the military thing?
Yeah, I'm very glad I did the military thing. Mm. I don't even regret the drinking because it took me older to realize all them different places I went, the trouble I got in. I realized that all that God was guiding my steps. Mm-hmm. And everything that happened had to happen for me to get here today. If none of all that wouldn't have happened, I never met my wife.
Got you.
Never. Mm-hmm. And also all that took place to be where I'm at today. And other than the birth of you, that's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life.
That's good.
And I say I don't regret nothing, but one thing I do regret as a man is believing that my little brother was my best friend. I regret that to this day. Other than that,
because y'all don't talk.
No, we don't talk.
I'm not going. My question about that is, does it hurt?
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts when you put so much faith and confidence and belief and love in an individual and they stab you in the back. That's worse than get shot with a bullet.
How long has it been?
I'm gonna say about 10 years.
Y'all haven't spoken 10 years?
Yeah. See him at funerals and that's all.
And y'all don't speak?
Nope.
Is there anything, is there any way for that to reconcile?
No, because
even if it was initiated by him?
No, I don't want that, because if, to me, maybe foolish to you, maybe foolish to someone else, for me to reconcile that situation, it's like I'm nothing.
Like you what?
To me, I feel like I'm nothing. All you did to me, and you tell me you sorry, and me and you be back like we used to be.
It's not enough.
No, that ain't enough. Don't hate him.
You still love him?
Huh?
Do you still love
I ain't
him?
got no love for him. Just don't hate him.
What is your how do you characterize your relationship with your mom?
When we were living, I think my mom was hard on me more than the rest of the kids. And I used to think that just because I was a little more, I guess, badder than they were. But as I grew older, this sounds unbelievable, but I think there was some type of hate that my mom had for me.
Because of your father?
Yes. I can't explain it. It's just a feeling, and it's just some things that were done to me by her in my adult life that made me come to this conclusion.
Before she passed, were y'all on good terms?
I would say we were on speaking terms. I was cordial. I loved her then and I loved her now, but there were some things that were done to me that it hurts. It hurts to know that those things took place and your mama was a part of it.
What hurt more?
What would hurt more?
No, the stuff that happened with grandma or uncle. And why?
What would hurt more?
What hurts more now? Like what hurt you more? If you said you were wrong by grandma and you were wrong by uncle, what dug deeper more to you?
I would say my mom, because as a mother, to me, I'm not a mother, but to me, a mother or father shouldn't share in no conflict with siblings. Look like you will be neutral, or if you're not neutral, you'll find some kind of way to dissolve the situation. I don't think you should be a participant in something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that really got to me.
Did you always feel like this?
What about my mom?
Like you were treated differently?
Yes.
From
when you get to an age when you could start thinking, you could, as a child, you remember things. You remember things as you get older that you didn't understand why this was happening. But you knew something wasn't right, but as you grow older, you start connecting the dots. And I've connected a lot of dots in the last couple of years.
Without naming names, is there any way to reconcile the rest of your siblings?
Me and my brother Russell, we had great terms. I love him, and I really think he loved me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 67 years old. I'm at peace.
You're at peace.
I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. You think that would add stress?
That's the point. Why take a chance?
Gotcha.
When everything is going so good, why take a chance to go back into that situation?
Mm-hmm.
And you got it going on like this. Leave it alone. It ain't hurting me.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't hurting my wife. And it's stress-free.
And I don't know this.
Go ahead.
With grandma, with uncle, is there anything...
With uncle?
Uncle Chris.
Go ahead.
Is there anything that you, like, did you do anything?
See, that's another good, I'm glad you asked me that question.
I don't know.
I can sit up here and lie to you and say, I did something. I ain't do nothing to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bad thing about it. All I knew how to do was help people. That's all I know how to do. It took my wife to let me know some of the things my mom was doing behind my back. My partner Clarence, he's dead. He told me some of the things my mom and Chris was doing behind my back. You can't do nothing about it. Mm-hmm. So you go with it. It comes up every now and then. I think about it because you could see somebody really doing you something if you know you did them something. When you know all you did was help. Your Uncle Chris wouldn't have got the job in Shreveport if it wasn't for me. He was in Arizona. I told him about the job, and I went and talked to the people for him to put a good word in for him. He didn't know nothing about that. I could have kept that a secret for 10 years. And he'd still be in the Air Force. But I told him about the job and got him to Shreveport. When he came there, he had a house. He lived with me and your mom. He got his place. Then that was after he divorced. I was living by myself. Let him move them again. I done co-signed for him for cars. There's nothing I did him. You admit, if I had something to admit what I did him or my mom, I would tell you. I just ain't do nobody nothing.
I could tell it. I mean, you're not an expressive person.
Go ahead. I agree with that.
But, and like I said at the start, like a lot of this, I don't know.
I understand. Go ahead.
But I can tell that hurts.
Yeah.
Like you said, because I've never really seen, I mean, I think I've seen you like emotional maybe 2 or 3 times.
If you go your whole life thinking one way, having feelings a certain way about a person, and then you find out that ain't the real deal, that hurts. It hurts.
No matter who you are. No matter who you are, how tough you are, how mentally, whatever.
It ain't no situation where you sit down and cry, but it hurts. And what it does, it makes you hold back from caring and helping other people. Because you figure that, hey man, you done did this before and you got screwed, and you go in and help somebody else care about them, you get screwed. Then it makes you be on guard about who you care for after that.
Okay. I'm going to ask you something, and you don't have to answer it.
Go ahead.
And I don't know if I can't remember if we spoke about this.
What?
How did you feel, and again, you can decline,
Where?
when Barry changed his name?
When Barry changed his name, that hurt me to the core. To the core. I could have been a dog as a man, and not even, I could have told your mom, hey, look, we might be together, but I ain't raising no kid. I could have did that. I could have left him being the name he was in high school and let him keep going through all the things that he went through. But I raised another man's kid. And what hurts me the most was that my plan, I put all my time in the barrel, all them years. Another man wouldn't have put all that time in another man's child. And my plan was, okay, I'm gonna get him straight, get him out of school. Now I could put all my time into you. Mm-hmm. And for him to change his name, knowing that if he has any success, it's because of the man I made him out of. And for him to change his name from mine, it felt like, he felt like, this made me feel like a piece of shit. And not only that, his daddy was dead. And I don't want to get into detail. I know the things his daddy done to that family prior to him dying. So it hurt me. I got over it, but and I don't wish that I wouldn't have did what I did by raising him. It's just that he got to live with himself.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything, and I just thought of this right now, is there anything that I've ever done to hurt you?
You upset me, but I was really upset when, and I ain't gonna mention the name, when you was going through the divorce. I was trying to tell you things to do to get yourself together. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, leaving your kids, you got upset and called me a name. But I got over that. I knew what you were going through. I thought about it. I knew what you was going through. And I knew you didn't, I saw more than you could see at the time. Mm-hmm. By me being there, knowing people being there, I say, well, as time goes on, he gonna see what I'm talking about, and he can't do what he want to do at this time. You was really confused, and going through divorce does that. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I know what you were going through.
Cause you been there.
Huh?
Cause
yeah, I've been there. I had brothers divorced. My mom used to call me up and say, Daddy, what you doing? I said, nothing. Could you go stop Gerald from killing himself? That's once a week from divorce. I know what people go through.
Mm-hmm. What I think you okay. What's the thing that brings? What's the most happiest time you ever?
With what?
Life.
With life?
Yeah.
Right now, being married, having my house. I lost Barry as a son, but I gained another son from Terrell, her son. I always wanted a family, and I got it. I knew your situation. You come in town, I'm happy. We got somewhere to call. We got somewhere to go. You can't ask for no more. Other than I wish I had a little better help, but I ain't got no complaint.
What was like the worst time?
Worst time for me? I'm gonna go with when they refused to give me a job. They got me good. They got me back. They really stuck it to me.
What is there any if you had words, would you ever have? Is there anything you would like to express to Uncle?
To Uncle Chris?
Yeah.
No. When a person when you know what a person did and he knows, ain't nothing to say.
Is there anything you would like, if you could, say to your father?
My dad?
Yeah.
I'm not upset with my dad. What had happened was, whatever happened to him, see, I don't want to get no details. My mama believe in all that voodoo stuff what people did. But anyway, I was hoping that when I got myself straight, as far as finance and living, me, if my dad was still living, I would have helped my dad.
Really?
He didn't live with us, but I don't recall him doing me anything wrong other than not living with us, and I just didn't have nothing against him. If my daddy was living today, I'd be trying to help him as best I can. And he made me proud, even whatever was wrong with him. I walked down the street, that big brown, that made my chest go up like that. So he did something good when he was straight to me, because I got a lot of respect from being his son from elderly people, really.
Because of him?
Yes.
Got you.
That big brown, just like it, Paul. I used to like that.
What was your relationship like with your grandmother?
My grandmother was my best friend. I love my grandmother.
What was her name?
Henrietta. And see what we did, we didn't have one television. And my grandmother got to watch what she want. But she was hard of hearing. So she'll be looking at a program and had a chair sit next to the bed. And she could see the people laughing, like if Beverly Hillbillies on or something like that. And I tell her what they said, and then she break out laughing. I talk in her ear. So every time she looking at TV, I go sit next to her and tell her. And one time she told me, she said, "Come here. They think I can't hear, but them people don't like you." Talking about my mom and them. See that? And I tell you another thing. I was married one Air Force, married base train, came home. My grandma was doing bad. I came home and ate it. Yeah, I came home and ate it. I base the train and I come home. My grandmother was doing bad. And she said, and I figured I never was going to see her again. And she said, hey, I ain't doing too good, but I'm going to hold on to that baby come here talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he was born, I done lost the picture, but I got a picture with you and her, she holding you. She was 94, holding you. And then I left back to go back to Air Force. I was just home on leave, and they called me and told me she died. But that was my partner.
I had 2 dimes she left me, and I lost them in the hurricane.
I got a nickel still wrapped up in a piece of paper she gave me in 1965 for my birthday. And it's still in the same little piece of paper.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Anything we didn't cover that?
I don't know, we talked about Chris, I want to tell you that, and got Barry out of everything, and
This one, okay, I got a question. And again, I don't know the answer.
Well,
I don't know really the end result of why. When y'all broke up, me and my mom, you and my mom, was there anything that you could have done to save it?
no.
Well, okay.
If you remember your little friends you had met,
Mm-hmm.
they
Around
were
the corner.
big into weeds and drugs.
Yeah.
Once your mom made that connection with them, and had more plentiful, I don't know what you would call it, had more access to drugs by meeting them people, she would have never stopped. And I lost y'all, I lost my house, I lost my Lincoln, I lost my truck, I lost my Dobermans. You was not smoking no weed in my house, and that's how I was. I lose everything before I let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I meant that. It wasn't no. I meant that.
Because of the military.
Because of the military. I wasn't allowed.
You wasn't playing with the...
No.
Gotcha.
No. I'll tell you one story, though. I was about to get out.
Of the military.
And I went by a guy's house. I had 6 months to go. Went by this guy's house. I shouldn't be telling you this. And they was smoking weed. And I was drinking. And I said, shit, why not? I'm getting out. And I took me a little 2 puffs. I was on a weekend. That Monday, I went to work. And the supervisor said, Z and this other guy, T, y'all need to go take a drug test. I said, a drug test? I ain't smoked weed in my life to that little hip. I said, I'll be goddamn. Joe was a goddamn rat to myself. So, I went down there, take the drug test, and dude come out, big brown, you ain't got a driver's license, you ain't got an ID, they ain't gonna let you take it. So I went home, and then I said, dog. And then the supervisor called. I told your mom, tell him if he ain't by the hospital at such and such a time, we're gonna send the SPs there. And I said, all the time these people got me. I took a glass, poured some Coke in there, fill it up with bleach.
What?
Drank that, got in the car, Made it to the corner, hit brakes, threw up outside. Backed that car up, got in the truck, went to take the drug test, and passed it.
So, for clarity,
I say I die before I give up 4 years of my life that I done put in this shit.
so it actually went down in your stomach.
I drank a glass of bleach with Coke. Come to work, got money supervisor. They know Joe Rat on me. He was the rat.
Yeah.
The super. What you doing there, Brown? I said, I got work here.
Because if you get caught, everything benefits is over.
Through this time with this charge. And he was so happy he couldn't stand my ass, the supervisor. See what you doing there? I said, I work here, man. He wanted to say, Joe saw you do it.
Oh, man.
That's the end of my story.
Well, okay, that was a good way to end it. I want to say thank you. And I want to say, if I haven't, I appreciate the way that I'm glad I'm your son. Like, I appreciate the way you raised me. I appreciate everything that you instilled in me. I know we had ups and downs and rocky moments, but I'm proud that I'm your son and you raised me, and everything that I have now is because of you and what you did, what you sacrificed, and from you to come from where you come from to where you are now and to raise us is like mind-blowing to me. And I just say I appreciate it and I love you.
You're welcome. I love you and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy the conversation.
Yeah.
Say one more thing.
Yeah.
My life remind me of, I like music. Mm-hmm. And my man was Frank Sinatra. And I always gonna remember, his song was I Did It My Way.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to did it my way.
That's it. Well, that's another episode of Life and Times with Tubbcity with my father, Thaddeus Brown Sr. I'm Thaddeus Brown Jr. And thank you. We out.
Want to save your HOA money on your home services while enjoying the benefits of living in a community? PIN Plus, the ultimate platform that brings neighbors together under one powerful concept: power in numbers. Communities can now negotiate group discounted pricing on essential home services, trash, pest control, pool maintenance, and so much more, all at unbeatable rates. Transform your home service experience today. Visit www.mypinplus.com today for more information.
All right.